Welcome back to the BookEnds YouTube channel. I'm James McGowan.
I'm Jessica Faust.
We are talking about the dreaded author website today. I say dreaded because for me it was dreaded. I don't know if it's dreaded for everybody,
Really?
but for me it was dreaded. So every author should have a website.
Yeah,
especially
and feel free to have one if you're unpublished.
Yes, but especially within that your website should be up and running by 6 months to pub.
At least.
At least, yes.
The minute you get that book deal, you should be working on it.
Exactly. And it's something that I will always, I guess being the social media brain in me, I will always email my clients like, congratulations, get the website going. So I wanted to sort of talk about the elements of a strong author website.
Yeah.
Because there are a few of them, and we have another video where we talk about everything that needs to be on it, but I wanted to just like focus in on what makes a good author website.
Okay.
So the first most obvious one is that you should have a photo of yourself and a biography that is easy to pull, downloadable, and general enough that anybody can use it. But
also it really needs to talk about your writing.
Yeah.
I've seen some author websites that I think you need to talk about yourself too. Don't get me wrong. I think your readers are coming because they want to learn a little bit about you. But I have had situations where I went to an author's website because I needed their bio to pitch their book, for example.
Yeah.
And they didn't include any of the organizations they belong to. They didn't include their awards. They really it was almost like their business bio, not their writing business bio. And
yeah. I expect most people, again, maybe for me when I was writing it, my entire bio was geared towards books because mine's a writer and an agent, and that's just sort of what I do. But I expect other people, they have a career, they have hobbies, they have stuff like that, and that should all be in your bio, even if it's geared towards writing. I think the first thing I want to see is who you are as a person, and then I want to see who you are as a writer. And I think that's just the best way to like structure it.
Right. But nobody probably cares that you've won the, Clammy Award for creating, I don't know, clam diggers or something. Like that's not what your readers are coming to your website to find out. So you want to include interesting facts, but you also want to gear it towards, if you are a, oyster farmer and you're writing a book about oysters, absolutely, that's fascinating. But, it still should be heavily on the writing side.
I think it should be relatable and general enough that anybody could get it.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't go crazy on jargon and stuff like that. I want to be able to understand it if I don't know who you are or what you do.
Yep.
And your photo should be a professional photograph that conferences, editors, agents can just pull off your website and use as your, like, hey, they're doing this event, or you can just sort of have that ready to go if they ever need it.
And I would argue that I don't think you have to spend the money for an actual professional photo.
Mine's an iPhone.
Yeah, using your iPhone to take a selfie or having somebody use the portrait feature on your phone can be really good. But try not to make it one of those weird, like, cropped, like, why is that weird arm there? I mean, I think we all find that our best photos are always when other people are with us, because there's a different kind of joy that comes out, and taking a solo photo is hard.
Yes.
But unless those other people are willing to stand far enough from the side that you can.
Which now they have to.
No, I would just, keep that in mind.
So just a little rule, a thumb rule. What is it?
I like thumb rules.
Okay. What is that? Rule of thumb. Just a little thumb rule. Books in nature always work well. So I took mine right here in front of this bookshelf, or you can go outside in front of a tree and take it in front of a tree. Those are just the two backgrounds that work really well for a professional writing headshot.
And a little tip that a professional photographer once told me: if you're taking it outside, pick a cloudy day. Because the sun causes dappling and weird lights and contrasts, where if it's a cloudy day, you can get that beautiful background in a photo, even though it might not look so good in real life, but you don't have the weird sun effects.
Yes. And always angle the camera up if you're taking a selfie, because nobody wants the chins. I do it all.
Nobody wants chins.
Okay, so that was the most obvious thing. Probably the second most obvious is that you should have an updated book list. This book list should be anything that's been announced and is going to be on the shelves or has already published. It should have buy links, up-to-date buy links that are not dead links. I should be able to click it and get to a retailer's website.
And it's really important that you include all retailers.
Exactly.
Independent bookstores, did I cut you off on this? Independent bookstores don't want to go to your website to check you out and have you come in for a signing and see that the only bookstore you're supporting is Amazon.
Exactly. So you should have all of the major retailers. You can use Bookshop too and indiebound.org, and that will really help boost your indie presence as well.
Yeah, you don't need to include every indie bookstore. You can use IndieBound.
Right.
But I would strongly suggest if you have a local bookstore that you like and support, include them specifically because they need your help.
Yeah, it's also it's nice to see. What if somebody decides to do it, and then there you go. So in addition to those buy links, you should have downloadable covers. Same thing for your bio, but it should be the cover. High resolution. It should not be a grainy photo. It should not be anything that's considered small resolution when you search it on Google. Get the highest resolution, a clear, crisp shot of your cover, not cropped, nothing like that. The full high resolution cover. Subliminal messaging of high resolution.
Yeah, the idea behind this is if you have a review in any place, even a blog, and the blogger, the reviewer decides they want to feature your cover, or they decide they want to write an article about you as an author, and it's midnight in your time zone, they can easily go to your website and download the cover and download your photo and give you extra publicity that way.
Exactly. And it's also it's your website's a resume for you and your books, and it's nice to see them up there. And if you write series, this is a good point from you, which I always forget to mention. If you write series, the book should be listed in series order.
It's really important to somewhere on your website, if you write a series, you could even have a whole tab about, series order, but readers get really quickly frustrated when they don't have an easy way to find out what all the books in the series are and what order they're in. So including that is just makes readers happy.
Could you imagine buying the second book in a series and you're just like, well, crap. So these next 2 points go to the layout of your website. Number one, it should be very easy to navigate. I shouldn't have to dig for information. Important pages should be on your menu bar. I should be able to see a header and know exactly what's going to be on that page. It needs to be as user-friendly as possible. If you're not sure what user-friendly might be for someone coming to an author's website, check out some of your favorite authors' websites and see what they're doing. See how they're sort of compartmentalizing their site, what works for them, what you like or didn't like. But I need to come onto that site and just know my way around.
Yeah, and if you're an author who was published back in 1999, the year BookEnds started, and you have not fully updated the design of your website, it's time to do so because things have changed a lot. The way you can easily create very interesting websites has changed, but you need to have a website so that, what do people come to your website for? They want to know the books. They want to know the order. They want to know the author bio. They want to know how to contact you. So you need to make sure that all of that is in somebody's face. And think about it from an author who's querying. When you're looking at agents' websites, which ones have been easy for you to navigate and which ones have made it almost like, a scavenger hunt?
Can I throw some shade here?
Oh, I hope it's not going to be at me.
Go on Goodreads' website. Goodreads' website is a nightmare. It's out of date,
dated,
very clunky, and it's boring.
Yeah.
That is not what you want your website to look like. And a good way to break that up, which is actually one of my next tips, a good way to bring life to your website is images. Use graphics. If you can use color, make it clean and sharp, and that's what you want a website to look like. I think I use Goodreads as the benchmark. I don't want a website to look like that.
No.
It looks like an old AOL website. You know what I'm talking about?
It might be.
It probably is. I don't think the website's ever changed.
Yeah, and they're not alone. There are some other industry websites that I'm not going to directly throw shade at. that I go to and think, oh man, people, like,
Yeah.
it's time to upgrade. And, constantly, I mean, Bookends did a redesign not too many years ago, a full redesign. And yet we are constantly updating and shifting and readjusting our website to make it as navigatable as possible.
And that's normal. You should be doing that. So
Mhm.
I do a quarterly audit of our website in
Mhm.
general, but we did that huge redesign. I think it was 5 or 6 years ago in 2015,
Mhm.
and then we just did another redesign last year,
Mhm.
where we sort of reworked the pages all over
I
again.
think there was another one in there actually.
Oh yes, because when we added Bookends Junior, we did a
Yep.
redesign, and then we
Yep.
redesigned again. And that's normal. It's gonna happen. It's sometimes a pain in the neck, sure, but it keeps, once you know how your website's working and being used, you're gonna naturally change things.
Mhm.
So the last two things that you need is, number one, you want to have your news frequently updated. If you sell a book, the first thing you should do after you post it to Twitter and you gush and celebrate with everyone, or Instagram, or whatever social media you use, the first thing you need to do is update your website. It should
Mhm.
be there before anybody decides to go look. So you want to make sure that your website is where you are controlling all of the updates, and you are keeping anyone who comes to your website up to date.
Yeah, I mean, because listen, agents are coming to your website. Um, Editors are coming to your website. When your agent goes out on submission with your book, editors are checking out your website. When your book is sold and announced publicly, foreign rights, film rights,
Yep.
audio rights, all of those editors are going to your website. They want to know from the author more about you and your book.
And imagine you're querying and you never took your last agent off your website. It's like
Annoy me.
those things. Like, you want to make sure that you are keeping yourself updated. You are the first source of news about you.
That would worry me. If you were querying
Yes.
and I went to the website and your old agent was on there, I would think, but you already have an agent. Why are you querying? And it would make me very concerned about what the situation was.
So that's a dramatic example, of course, but it's the
That
same
was
principle
exciting.
applies. Yeah, the same principle applies for your whole website. What if you had a title change? Your website should reflect the title change, or your cover changes. All of that information should be on there.
And I've seen authors forget, and it'll say coming soon a month after the book was published. And also, you should never use coming soon. You should have a pre-order now link, because pre-orders are important. So skip coming soon, or you can say coming soon, but the minute that book is available for pre-order, you better change that to pre-order now.
Exactly. And I want a date.
Yes, when it is available. I don't want coming soon. I want coming on October 2nd.
Yes. So our last thing, which, kind of just touched upon, is you want to have your agent and rights information up to date and easily findable, searchable,
Yes.
whatever. And you want to have a contact form. So if somebody comes to your website and wants to be in touch, even if it is a foreign publisher or something like that, and they want to inquire about the rights, even if you're going to direct them to your agent, they should have a way to get in touch with you and or your agent straight from your website. I suggest it being an entirely separate page. Contact so-and-so, contact me, get in touch, anything like that. But you should have a page that is specifically designated for how I can specifically contact you or your representatives.
And it is kind of shocking to me how many authors don't put their agents on their website.
Yeah, it's weird. I guess the thinking is probably that they don't want their agent to get bombarded with anything that might, but that's, in some respects, it's my job. And if it's not for me, I'll volley it back to you. But I want to be on there this way in case people are coming to you. First of all, they can get directly to me. Things aren't getting missed, nothing like that. So.
But you don't want a film agent trying to hunt somebody down when you could easily just have your agent's name there, and the film agent can go, oh, I know James McGowan, I'll just give James a call.
Exactly. So like I said, we did this video before in terms of what should be on your website, but we hope that these little tips are more insight into why they need to be on your website, and also how you can make them really stand out. If you have found that anything else should be on there and you want to share with your fellow authors, please do so in the comments, but don't forget to like and subscribe so you can catch us next time.
Also,
okay.
I would say, if you have any great author websites that you really like, include them in the comments below. Promote the author, but also share with other authors where they can find great examples.
Even if it's yours, we don't mind a shameless plug. We do it all the time.